Alrighty, so in this week we're going to be going over how to solve a multi-step equation. Now, this is an algebra concept most of the time, but you are going to use this in geometry. You're actually going to probably use it in any math, but understanding that an equation is balanced and an equal sign means things have to happen to both sides, and eventually you're going to get an answer to solve for a given variable. So there are 5 steps to take. And so these 5 steps just kind of need to be memorized. Some of them can be done in different order, but most of the time this is the most effective way. So the first step would be to distribute. So when you distribute, that's when you have something like in front of a parenthesis, and you distribute that 2 to both things, and distribute is multiplication. Combining like terms on the same side. So what that means is if we have a y plus a y equals an x plus an x, on the same side is right here. So these two y's are like terms, so that turns into 2y, and this turns into 2x because they're like terms. Just remember they have to be like terms. So if they're not, we cannot combine them, and combine means to add. Move variable to one side, and a variable, that's a letter. That's the letter you're trying to solve for. Move your numbers, or constants, those are numbers that don't have letters attached to them, to the other side. And then most of the time at the end you're going to divide, but sometimes you might multiply if it's a fraction. But most of the time we divide. So let's do an example. This one wants us to solve for v. So I'm going to go ahead and write it over here. Negative 16 equals v over 4 minus 20. Okay, so if it helps to think, this is how I think about where to go, right? So v is in a bubble, and I'm trying to get that bubble, I'm trying to get v by itself. Then it has this other bubble, this 4, because that's what's closest to it. And then we have this negative 20. So we have to kind of go from the outside in. So we need to move this negative 20. So the first thing that we do, we don't have anything to distribute. We don't have any like terms to combine. Step 3 is move all of your variables to one side. That's already done for you. So we're already at step 4 in this example. So I'm going to, the opposite of minus 20 is plus 20. And whatever happens to one side has to happen to the other. Okay? These end up crossing each other out, and I have v divided by 4. Now I have negative 16 plus positive 20 is a positive 4. Now, I told you in the past that, in the previous slide, most of the time we divide. In this case, we actually have to multiply, because this is v divided by 4. So in order to get rid of divided by 4, we need to multiply both sides by 4. That's the inverse operation. So these cancel. V equals 4 times 4 is 16. So V will equal 16. All right, we're going to do another example. So we have 10 equals K plus negative 2. Alrighty. So we want K by itself. So let's go down the list. We have nothing to distribute. All the variables are on the same side, and we don't have any like terms to combine. So we're at the next step, which is once we moved the variable, which is by itself, now I need to move all the constants, or the numbers. So the opposite of negative 2 is plus 2. Again, I draw lines sometimes. These end up canceling. K equals 12. And that's all we have to do. This one's pretty simple. All right, let's switch up some colors here. All right, so let's do this example. Negative 7f plus 92 equals negative 10f plus 23. And this one, you might need your calculator. So if you need that, just go ahead and pause the video and grab your calculator. Okay, so we have nothing to distribute. When I look at the left-hand side, they're not like terms, or the right-hand side, they're not like terms, so I can skip step 2. Step 3, move all of the variables to one side. So I have the variable f on the right, and I have the variable f on the left. It doesn't really matter which one you want to move, so let's just put them all over onto the left-hand side. So the opposite of negative 10f is positive 10f. And I got to do it to both sides. So these canceled, and the only thing left on the right-hand side is this number 23. On the left-hand side, we have negative 7f plus 10f. And I know I can add them together because they're like terms. So this turns into a positive 3f plus 92. Now, we moved all the variables to the left. Now let's move all the regular numbers to the right. So this, or 92, negative, I'm going to subtract 92 from both sides so that they can cancel. I have 3f equals 23 minus 92 is negative 69. And then we're going to, I told you most of the time you get to divide at the end, so we're going to divide by 3. And f equals negative 23. You don't have to put the parenthesis. You can just type it into Excel with the negative sign. All right, this is your last one, and this one is on your USA test prep. So this one has a couple more steps. So we need to do our first step, right, which is distribute. And this one actually has distribution. So I need to distribute the 10 to everything in here. So 10 times x is 10x. 10 times 2 is 20. Now on the right side, I need to distribute the 5. 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times 8 is 40. Okay. Step 2, combine like terms on the same side. Well, both sides are good, so there's no like terms. Step 3, move all of the variables to one side. I tend to like to move the variable to the left. Again, it really doesn't matter, but I'm going to go ahead and move all my variables to the left. So I'm going to move that 5x. So bring down the 40, and then 10x minus 5x is 5x plus 20. Now I have all of my variables on the left, so I need to move all of my constants, or my other numbers, to the other side. And these cancel, and we have 5x equals 40 minus 20 is 20. And then the very last step is usually to divide. So these canceled, and x is going to equal 4.